For the final time, I see that red hill once again. The red memory. I dive deeper into her memory, and I realize I'm seeing it for the last time. Does that mean we're getting close to the end of this particular route? Maybe? I don't know. Well, who knows? Close to the end might be. And, oh, you're in the epilogue. It's 3 more hours. It's a memory of a certain night that I have seen many times already. I mean, I guess we haven't gotten the Grail yet, so we probably have at least that left to go. And the lamps are still large, so there's still some underlying things to answer. That was a beautiful moment. Hard agree there. After becoming king and killing her will, so that she could devote herself to the will of her nation, her days were now marked by the resentment of her trusted knights. Every time she won a battle, Ultra was made to fight more battles she didn't want. She continued to hide her sex, which heaped more suspicion onto her. All that awaited the isolated girl was a rebellion at the hands of her own family. A young knight took over the nation while the king was away on an expedition. The knight's name was Mordred. The knight, son of Ultra's older sister Morgan, was in fact the king of Knight's own son. Hold on, wait. The knight, son of Ultra's older sister Morgan, was in fact the king of Knight's own son. Okay, so this is Saber's son, who is being passed off as her sister's son? Like, okay. Because I know in Arthurian mythos, Mordred is the product of, like, an incestuous relationship between Morgan and Arthur, I think, right? I think? I'm not an expert, but that's what I've gathered. Which makes sense. But doesn't make sense biologically if Arthur is now a woman. I'm confused. Why am I... This is the final one. It's supposed to give me answers, and I'm just even more confused. Ultra was never able to have a child as a woman. Okay. But Mordred had her blood coursing through his veins. What, is this like an immaculate conception type of thing, or... I'm not clear what happened to make this possible. You and me both, brother! But Ultra's older sister, Morgan, loathed her for becoming king. Mordred was created as a clone and served the king without knowing who his father was. Mordred sought an opportunity to take the throne for himself, ultimately going so far as to organize a revolt. I'm still confused. That revolt would end in what later became known as the Battle of Camlan, the final battle, and the end of King Arthur. King Arthur learned of Mordred's betrayal during her expedition and returned with her weary army to invade her own lands. She defeated many of the knights who used to serve her. She attacked the lands she once defended. Those few knights who remained loyal to her died. The only 2 left standing in the end were the king and her son, Mordred. The combat between the 2 of them ended in the king's victory. Hold on, wait. So if Mordred is possibly the biological child of Morgan, while also being at least a partial clone of Altria. Like, genetically. And granted, maybe getting into a genetic argument is moot at this point, because we've got the son of 2 women, ostensibly. But, which is, yeah, I mean, hope this isn't, like, too, like, anti-woke to say, is, like, not biologically possible. But even if we suppose it was, like, a thing, genetically, you could, like, where are you getting the Y chromosome from? If it's if the genetic material is from 2 women, theoretically. There's no Y chromosome to get, so Mordred would have to be female in this case. And granted, Mordred, in this case, would have to not exist, because, again, it's 2 women, but... I'm confused. Why is mythology so confusing? Okay. The combat between the 2 of them ended in the king's victory. But the king was not unharmed. Mordred was bound by a powerful curse, and swung his sword even after dying, inflicting a fatal wound on the king. Man, that's some rough rigor mortis right there. And so the battle ended. It was the end of her, the king once known as the King of Knights. It must have been heart-wrenching. None of the battles she fought were painless. Every one of the 12 battles she fought was intense, but this final one was her greatest loss. She returned to her homeland only to have to destroy her own army. She was forced to punish the knights who once served her, and had to watch those knights who remained loyal to her die. And in the end, she had to kill her own son. I have no idea what was going through her head in that moment, but I had to pray. I had to pray for the lone knight who tried to remain king until the very end. I pray that this dream of her just before her death is the kind of dream a girl named Ultra would want to see. I'm gonna throw some shade at chat for a second here. Like, me being utterly confused by this turn of events. This is the one time the Fate fans aren't chiming in. Like, well, actually, Mordred, if you know, is actually a partial clone who was cloned by Victor Frankenstein, who, for some reason, existed centuries before Mary Shelley's novel was even a thing, but it makes sense because actually Doc Brown is a thing, and then he gets him to go back and get the Mordred clone, and like... I'm just saying, this is one of the few times where I'm like legitimately confused and like kind of fishing for an answer, and now chat's silent. Anyway. Keep your secrets, chat. Fine. Fine, be that way. They're playing hard to get an answer out of. I opened my eyes. I don't know when I got back, but I'm in my room, lying on my futon. Sure, you're awake. Saber, how did I... You've been sleeping for some time. You're mostly healed now, so there is no cause for concern. I see. I guess that's good. But what about Saber? She used Excalibur. She must be running low on magical energy since she probably healed herself, too. Saber, were you taking care of me this whole time? All I did was to wipe the sweat from your brow. I cannot treat wounds like Finn. You dummy, you didn't have to do that. You're probably suffering too. That is not true. My wounds are insignificant compared to yours. However, on that subject, though your wounds have healed, they were severe enough that you might have died. You must be mindful of your body and its limits right now. Saber reaches for a basin of water that sits beside her. She draws a towel out of it and wrings it before wiping me off with the cool water. Honestly, what she does mostly just embarrasses me. Does your wound still hurt? Your fever does not seem to have gone down. I don't have a fever. That's what I meant. I want you to rest too. You might be fine right now, but you still used Excalibur. You should be resting, or you might collapse again like last time. Well, that may be true, but I'm better off than you are right now. There's only proof that I should protect my master until his wounds are healed. Well, I guess that makes sense. She's got me there. When she says it like that, I can't really do anything but agree. Fine, I'm going to rest, so I want you to rest too, Saber. I'll be able to sleep knowing you aren't resting. That is true, and I do require sleep. Saber nods in agreement, then wrings the towel and hangs it over the edge of the basin. I do my best to swallow my embarrassment as I watch Saber tend to me. I'll go rest. Please take care, Shiro. Okay. Good night. I forgot to say so earlier, but thank you, Shiro. I'm very glad you're okay. There, under the moonlight, I see Saber smile. Her smile seems fragile, maybe because of the pale moonlight. Before I get a good look, the door closes. When Saber disappears into her room, I'm stricken by a sudden sense of relief. Or maybe loneliness? I regret not telling her to stay here and just take my futon while I use my arm as a pillow, but that would be too much for her. Besides, if we did that, it'd remind me of that night. I shake off the image that works its way into my mind. Too many things have happened today. It feels like an entire week has gone by just today. My date with Saber was more challenging than fun, and we got into an argument and I left, abandoning Saber. And then... yeah, all in one stream, too. This was very eventful. No, I shouldn't think of that until I've completely recovered. Not only did we have to deal with Gilgamesh, but we also need to defeat Lancer, and whoever his master is. We need to rest, recover, and regroup, so we can be at our best, or else we don't have a chance at winning. This only happened a few hours ago. I think Saber said something about me being her sheath. At the time I couldn't ask what she meant. I was a wreck and near to passing out. Oh, come on. I can't fall asleep. In Saber's dream, her face, resolute even on the brink of death, overlaps with the sight of Saber tending to me. Then I hear her voice saying goodnight. The image of her frail profile, of her smiles, burned into my mind. It's not a smile I saw in any of my dreams of her life. She says it makes her happier when she sees me smile. That just drives me nuts. I'm not sad, just exasperated. I don't know why it annoys me so much. I actually find myself getting angry. I punch my futon. The desire to lash out in the face of this frustration just completely overwhelms me. Shiro, is something the matter? A concerned voice drifts in from the other side of the closed door. My breathing is heavy, so she must think I'm having trouble sleeping. Fair. No, it's okay, but why are you still awake? Are you truly alright? You're still in pain, I can remain by your side. Maybe I should go over? No, that's even worse. All the pent-up feelings I've been barely holding back will come rushing to the forefront if I see Saber now. Saber, can I talk to you for a bit? Hmm? Yes, if you don't mind talking like this. We start talking through the sliding door. Since I can't actually see her, I think back on that smile, the last expression I saw in her face. She looked so happy. And when I think of it, I find myself getting more frustrated rather than less. I don't know why I'm getting so warm. But I still need to talk to Saber. I have to tell her that even if I don't have the right answer, she's still wrong. My voice trembles. My tongue feels heavy in my mouth. Once I say it, I won't be able to take it back. I'm fully aware of that. It's okay. Just... things are fine, so you need to smile for yourself. Some unknown force forces the words from me. Shiro, what do you... why? There shouldn't even be a question. I'll just keep repeating myself until you realize it. Saber, you've done enough. You worked hard enough. You fought so hard all on your own. That's why it wouldn't be right unless you found happiness. You've fulfilled your vow. That gives you the right to go back to being Altria. What? You still want to talk about this? Yeah, I'm going to keep saying it. I can't help it. I fell for you, so you should go back to being you. No. Altria. I suppress the sudden surge of emotion. I'm on the verge of breaking down. Only Saber would just say something, even a single word. Shiro, please, do not. You say that, Her answer's unchanged. My heart aches from her determination. You have come into me both physically and spiritually, despite knowing my past. You should know very well what answer I would have to give. So why do you still concern yourself with me? You must have seen all the sins I have committed. Yeah, I have. Many people were sacrificed in the name of the king. Many enemies killed. I have no intention of pretending that didn't happen. Still, knowing this, I want Altria to be happy. Yeah, so? I don't understand this feeling, but I can't just let you stay like this. I want you to smile, Saber. I want to be with you. Forever. Such a childish confession of love. I wait for her answer as the silence stretches out between us. What Saber might be doing or how she might be reacting behind that closed door, I have no idea. Are my words even getting through to her? My answer will never change. I cannot break the vow I made as king. I may not have been fit to rule, but my nation was still entrusted to me. And since I failed in my duties, I cannot accept this freedom. Her voice is so sad. I can't stand it any longer. I don't want to hear the solitary oath Altria took when she became king. I already know it. All this frustration wasn't just so I could hear her lamentations. I kick up the futon covers. The only thing between me and Saber is the sliding door leading to her room. The door slides softly as I open it. Ellipses. My mind goes blank. What was I so angry about? Why was I so sad? Before me, I see trembling eyes on the verge of tears. I see a slender neck and shoulders so thin they seem in danger of snapping in a breeze. But I see her golden hair splashed with moonlight, just like when we first met. Without even thinking, I'm embracing her. I hold her so tight I might break her. It's different from that night. I didn't feel like this back then. This may sound ridiculous, Even though I was aspiring to be a champion of justice, I never fell in love. There was never someone I couldn't let go of. Saber? It's like she might disappear if I don't hold her tightly enough. I'm not sure how long I hold her, but I relax my embrace after reminding myself that no, she won't disappear. Shiro, what is this all of a sudden? What's the meaning of this? Even if you do that, I will not... She moves slightly in my arms. Her lips tremble. She's about to say something I don't want to hear. So I place my lips over hers to silence her. She trembles in my arms. I'm looking at Saber, but I'm not seeing anything. Quite literally. But my sense of touch has grown so much more sensitive now. I can feel the softness of Saber's lips. Our lips part. Saber places a hand on my chest and pushes me away gently. Sure, that kiss. She wants to say it was a mistake. Saber looks at me on the verge of tears. It wasn't a mistake. I'll say it as many times as I can. I love you, but I can't let you go. If you don't want that, tell me. Tell me that our relationship is just master and served. If that's what you really want, then say so directly. Reject me. That is unfair. How can you ask me to do that? Yeah? If you don't tell me directly, I'm not going to hold back. If you don't reject me, I'll just do what I want. Even if it could only make her forget her vow to be king for a moment. Neither of us says anything for what feels like a long time. I keep holding Saber, feeling her soft, slender body. She's still tense, unsure of herself. All I can hear is our breathing and our hearts beating. How many times did our hearts beat against each other? She pushes a little harder on my chest. I cannot reciprocate your feelings, as you cannot change, so there are things I cannot change about myself. If anything, if it is allowed, it would be... The pause makes my heart ache. She bites her lip, trembling as if confessing that what we did that night was not permitted. And yet, her body offers no resistance, and the hesitation in her eyes tells me something. Just one night. She's telling me of a hope she feels cannot be fulfilled. She wants to stay like this until the night ends. Saber, I lift my hand trying to embrace her. Saber takes hold of it. Since I used my noble phantasm, if I do not receive energy from you, I cannot continue fighting. Her hushed voice, asking for permission, falls silent. I have no words. That line of reasoning is so transparent, but it's the best she could do to ask for her wish to come true. Oh, right. But do you know if the connection's still working properly? Yes, you are supplying with energy as we speak. Which is why, to more fully recover, we should... Our bodies have to be close. It's all we can do. This is as close as we can be because she is still bound by her oath. I can't break that oath. Saber moves in my arms. I don't know what to do with the heat of her pressed against me. Holding Saber's slender body in my arms makes my heart beat faster. And I'm ashamed of myself for getting agitated. Saber's cheeks practically glow red. She looks so embarrassed. And so, Shiro, if I may ask, please, I'm to sleep with you tonight. When the sword and sheath are together, it is easier for them to restore their strength. And if we bring our bodies and souls close together, like we did during that ritual... I nod silently. I'm much happier than I am embarrassed. I get to spend the night with Saber in my arms. Our bodies may not touch more than they are now, but we can be more intimate in our hearts. I'm glad. Then, Shiro, I'll prepare myself for tonight, so please return to your room. Saber stands up. I can't bear to let her go, but we can't stay like this forever, so I head back through the sliding door to my room. I turn back to look at Saber before I slide the door shut. It feels like I'm doing something wrong, though, so I close the door quickly. I don't know why, but I find myself sitting on top of my futon. It's not like it's an unnatural place to sit. My mind won't slow down. It's practically doing somersaults just at the thought of sleeping with Saber. This is for her, to help her, to grant one small wish of hers. If I keep on granting these small wishes for her, it'll add up and maybe Saber will learn to smile. But the war is nearing its end. I don't know how much time we have left to keep doing this. Excuse me, Shiro. The sliding door opens. I shake away the depressing thoughts circling my head and look to Saber. I turn and look up at her. She's what? Okay, we're safe. I quietly gulp. She is a figure of pure white in the darkness. Seeing her, all that restless worry I felt melts away. She's just too beautiful. My heart is unclouded now. Do you think it is strange for me to be in this? Oh, no, nightgown. I mean, that's a reasonable sleeping attire. No, absolutely. It's just that you're so beautiful. I don't know what to do. I muttered something unintelligible about how difficult it makes things when a girl's too pretty. Even if I explain it to Saber, she wouldn't understand, but my mind's practically shorted out. Back over there, Shiro. Oh, sure. For the first time, I realized she has beautiful, perfect toes. While Saber walks across the tatami mat floor to get close, I get off the futon and pull the blanket back for her. I realize I'm one pillow short for the two of us to sleep together, but it's too late. Saber and I sit side by side next to the futon. One room, one futon, but Saber's with me. I shouldn't be having any impure thoughts, but my face feels like it's on fire. I can't even look at Saber. Please go ahead, Shiro. No, you go ahead, Saber. Well, we're not going to get anywhere like this. So I hurry into the futon and make room for Saber. I thought I would give her the pillow, but she gently pushes it back to me. You should take this, Shiro. I'd like to, use your arm as my pillow. Okay, as long as, like, you're okay with it possibly just disappearing on you if it, like, falls asleep in the middle of the night. Her words, barely a whisper, make my heart skip a beat. Saber is surprisingly calm as she nestles into my arms. It's like she's settled in herself more than I am holding her. A blade and its sheath. I remember Saber's words. Saber's about to drift off, pillowed on my arm, like a sword in its sheath. Her warm, soft scent so close, it calms rather than excites me. Saber's hand reaches for my hand. I take it inside the blanket, and I entwine my fingers with hers. We drift off to sleep, in silence. But before that... Saber? I call out to her as she lays beside me. I want to ask her at the end. I want to hear again why I desire her so much. Do you feel it, Shiro? Your magical energy should be replenished by tomorrow morning if we continue as we are. By tomorrow I'll be able to fight as your servant. Saber. This is all I need, Shiro. My role is to protect you and to obtain the Holy Grail. Until the war is over, I cannot think of anything else. That's... Do you not agree, Shiro? You have decided to fight to end this war. I can't argue that point. If we want to solve our problem, we first need to end this war. To start, I won't be able to protect Saber unless I defeat the man who's after her. But is there really a way for us to defeat the King of Heroes? See, that's a tough one. I don't recall what does Gilgamesh in ultimately. I think he might just die of old age. Like, I think he just, like, goes back to being king and just, like, dies of natural causes later. After he fails to get immortality. Obviously, we can't really weaponize old age, so... While the two of us lie quiet, we look out into the tranquil darkness. I don't know how much time passes. My eyelids grow heavy. My body cries out for rest. But our entwined fingers stay warm. Saber? Yes, let us do the thinking tomorrow, Shiro. We may come up with a good idea tomorrow, and... She just wants to sleep together like this. She holds my hands gently as she says so. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Yes, good night, Shiro. When you wake, matters will return to normal. I lean my face close to hers and close my eyes. The last thing I see is Saber smiling warmly. I don't care if that moment of vulnerability was only for tonight. The hand holding mine right now is so warm. It's more than enough for me, and I fall into a satisfied sleep. The end of battle. Once everything is over, I'm not sure I can keep holding this hand. And then the silence settles in.